Good evening and welcome to Verdict 2014 on Rajya Sabha TV. Well, Jharkhand and Jammu and Kashmir go to the fourth phase of polls tomorrow with the usual elaborate setup ready and in place. We'll be talking about that over the next 15 minutes. I'm Ishan Russell and here are the top stories we are following. The stage is set for voting for the 18 assembly seats of Jammu and Kashmir and 15 in Jharkhand in the fourth phase tomorrow. Suspected militants gunned down a village head in Sopore and Baramulla district that went to the polls in the third phase. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi attacks previous state governments as he addresses election rallies in Kathua and Rajouri in Kashmir. Well, the stage is set for the fourth and penultimate phase of polling in Jammu and Kashmir and Jharkhand tomorrow. 18 seats in Jammu and Kashmir and 15 in Jharkhand go to the polls.
After weeks of campaign humdrum, time for the voter to get his say. Polling booths are in place in areas going to polls in both states under close watch of Election Commission officials, observers and security personnel in both states. 4 districts, Srinagar, Anantnag, Shopian and Samba will go to the hustings in this phase with a total of 18 constituencies between them. Nearly 14.7 lakh voters are eligible to decide the fate of 182 candidates in the fray. Nearly 1,900 polling booths have been set up. How Srinagar votes will be keenly watched. The city is notorious for its poor turnout, but that is expected to change this time. All 8 constituencies in the state summer capital are presently held by the ruling National Conference. Among the key candidates in Srinagar, Omar Abdullah is contesting from Sonawar. The opposition PDP is looking at major inroads in 6 assembly seats in Anantnag district this time. Party patron Mufti Muhammad Saeed is contesting from Anantnag constituency. Shopian, that has borne the brunt of several militant attacks in the recent past, will also be closely watched. The killing of an NC Sarpanch and the December 5th grenade lobbing incident had sent out shockwaves here. Heavy security is in place for polling day, especially in Srinagar, that faces a string of boycott calls. In Jharkhand too, preparations for polling are reported complete in all polling booths in areas going to polls. Nearly 27,000 polling personnel have been deputed across Jharkhand, besides over 1,000 observers.
कल के मतदान की सारी तैयारियां पूरी हो चुकी है। आज हम लोग के पोलिंग पार्टीज और फोर्सेस का डिस्पैच भी चल रहा है। हम लोग बस यहाँ की जनता से अपील करेंगे कि कल निर्भीक वातावरण में आकर के अपने मूल वोट का अपने मतदान के लिए कास्ट करें।
15 assembly segments of the state over 4 districts, Deoghar, Giridih, Bokaro and Dhanbad to go to polls in this phase. Nearly 43.5 lakh voters will decide the fate of 217 candidates in the fray in this phase. Nearly 5,500 polling booths have been set up with live webcasting to be carried out from 335 of them. After this round on Sunday, the 5th and final phase of voting will be held on 20th. Counting of votes for all phases will be held on 23rd. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, perhaps the biggest bullet versus ballot challenge in Jharkhand in the fourth phase tomorrow will arise in the Giridih district. 2 constituencies with a huge Maoist presence go to the polls in this phase.
It's been violence-free so far. Encouragement for the voter to come out and cast his ballot. But the challenge is far from over yet. Some notorious Naxal-infested segments go to polls in the coming rounds, and security forces get no chance letting down their guard. Among the biggest challenges will be Tundi and Bagmara constituencies in Giridih, going to polls on the 14th of December.
100% जो बूथ हैं उसको हम लोग नक्सल इलाके में केंद्रीय बलों से आच्छादित करेंगे और सफिशिएंट मात्रा में हम लोग करेंगे। प्रतिनियुक्ति के पहले हम लोगों का अभियान जारी है। जिन रास्तों से जाना है उन रास्तों में हम लोगों का रोड सैनिटाइजेशन का काम, एरिया डोमिनेशन का काम और लोगों को अपने पक्ष में मिलाने का काम जारी है।
Poor voter turnout in these segments in the past tells the story. People of the area have surrendered meekly to boycott calls by Naxals operating in the area, but the administration hopes things will change this time. In the last few months, Election Commission officials and district authorities have gone on overdrive with campaigns to raise voter turnout.
हमें और हमारे जितने भी कर्मी हैं उनको सावधान रहने की आवश्यकता है। चूंकि इतने बड़ी संख्या में कर्मी जाते हैं, उन सभी को प्रॉपरली ब्रीफ करना, ट्रेन करना, उनकी सुरक्षा मुहैया कराना।
In the 2009 elections, JMM candidate Mathura Prasad Mahto won the Tundi seat, while JVM's Dulu Mahto emerged victorious on the Bagmara seat. This time too, the contest is between these two parties, but amid changing political scenario, the BJP could also prove to be a game changer. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
On to Kashmir now, where news of an attack of another village has happened. Last night, unidentified gunmen shot dead a sarpanch belonging to the National Conference from Sopore area, that's in North Kashmir's Baramulla district. Now, police say 62-year-old Ghulam Mohammad Mir was abducted by 6 gunmen from his residence around 9 p.m. yesterday. His body with gunshot wounds was recovered early this morning. The incident comes 3 days after the Sopore Assembly segment went to the polls in the third phase on the 9th of December. Security personnel suspect Lashkar-e-Toiba or Hizbul Mujahideen militants operating in the area were behind the attack. Militants had killed the sarpanch of the Shopia district ahead of the second phase of polling on the 1st December.
हमारे साथ अबू को कहा, फिर वो उसको एक हाथ से पकड़ा। मेरी 2 सिस्टर्स थी, उन्होंने अबू को जाने नहीं दिया, कहा आप मत जाओ। फिर उन्होंने एक बंदा था, उसने कहा हम आप ही के बंदे हैं, आप डरो मत, इसको अफसर से बाहर बात करनी है, ये वापस आएगा, हम इसको गेट तक छोड़ेंगे। मेरी बड़ी बहन ने नहीं माना, एक बंदे ने इसको धक्का दिया और अबू को ले गए।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today projected the BJP as a fresh option for Jammu and Kashmir as he hit out at the Congress and regional parties. Modi addressed rallies in Kathua and Rajouri, areas headed to the polls in the 5th and final phase, that's on the 20th of December.
The Prime Minister comes to the valley again to campaign for the 5th round, looking to cash in on what the BJP calls a continuing Modi wave across the country. In Kathua and Rajouri, Modi once again held out the development promise.
आपका ये प्यार, आपका ये अपनापन कभी बेकार नहीं जाएगा। और मैं इस प्यार को ब्याज समेत लौटाने की जब बात करता हूं, वो विकास करके लौटाऊंगा, विकास करके लौटाऊंगा।
The BJP is looking to come to power in Jammu and Kashmir for the first time since independence. Even as he praised residents of the area for standing up to continuous firing from across the border, Modi lashed out at the Congress, National Conference and PDP for the problems in the state, asking the people to punish all 3 offenders.
ये आज तक आपने गलती ये की है कि आपने उनकी सजा नहीं की है, और सजा नहीं की इसलिए उनको सुधरने की जरूरत नहीं लगी है। वो गुनाह करते थे, पाप करते थे, बेईमानी करते थे, लेकिन बाद में जब आंसू बहाते थे तो आप पिघल जाते थे और लड्डू खिला देते थे, फिर वो सत्ता में बैठ जाते थे। एक बार इनको सजा करो, ये सारे ठिकाने लग जाएंगे।
He attacked the Congress in particular, saying it jumps into every government that is formed in the state, whether led by the PDP or NC, but withdraws just before elections and starts attacking them. Modi said development for the people becomes a direct casualty. And once again, as at the centre, the Prime Minister attacked dynasty politics of both the Congress and the National Conference.
ये बाप बेटे और बाप बेटी के चक्कर में रहना है कि बाहर निकलना है? अरे उन बाप बेटों को मत देखो, उन बाप बेटी को मत देखो, अपने बेटों बेटी को देखो, आपका भला उसमें है। और इसलिए भाइयों बहनों, ये वंशवाद है, परिवारवाद, इसने लोकतंत्र को सबसे ज्यादा नुकसान किया।
Kathua and Rajouri are among 20 assembly constituencies in Jammu and Kashmir headed to polling in the 5th phase on the 20th of December. An array of party bigwigs are expected to follow the Prime Minister on the campaign trail in these areas till campaigning ends on the 18th. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Now, Hiranagar Assembly constituency in Kathua district along the border with Pakistan and Jammu and Kashmir has frequently borne the brunt of unprovoked firing that has threatened lives and livelihoods. Yet residents here say they refuse to be cowed down and are eager to come out and vote. Here's more.
They have felt the travails of living along a volatile border firsthand. Residents of this village town, most of them farming folk, have had frequent brushes with Pakistani militants crossing over into India. Security forces frequently ask them to evacuate their homes and fields, move hurriedly into makeshift tents and schools miles away. It's a tough life, and local authorities feel steps taken by the administration for their welfare leaves a lot to be desired.
हम चाहते हैं कि 5-5 मरले प्लाट जो हैं सुरक्षित स्थानों पे दिए जाएं, बॉर्डर एरिया को रिजर्वेशन दी जाए, जैसे एलओसी एएलसी पे रिजर्वेशन है उस तरीके की रिजर्वेशन दी जाए, पढ़ाई में नौकरी में सभी जगह रिजर्वेशन दी जाए.
The state of these roads reflects a lack of any infrastructure development in the area since independence. Farming is the only real occupation at hand, and it is filled with risks. Issues like availability of better and cheaper seeds, fertilizers, and a sale depot for crops top concerns. There's little in terms of employment opportunities for the youth either. Yet, what stands out here is an eagerness to go out and vote. Residents say they refuse to be cowed down by Pakistan's effort to inject turmoil in their lives. All they want is a voice that will take their concerns to the right forum.
हमारी बॉर्डर के ऊपर कोई डर नहीं है. लोगों ने खेती भी की है, आगे भी लगाई है, पीछे भी लगाई है फसल. तो ये लगा रहे हैं. जहाँ तक अभी पाकिस्तान का हमें पहले से डर कम है, क्योंकि हमारी फौज चौकन्नी है और 24 घंटे हमारे बॉर्डर पे खड़े हैं, हमारी ड्यूटियां दे रहे हैं.
वोट तो हम डालेंगे, चाहे गोली चले, चाहे जो मर्जी हो, वोट हम डालेंगे अच्छे उम्मीदवार को, कोई भी हो. तो हमें यही चाहते हैं कि हमारी सारे मसले हल हो जाए.
Hiranagar goes to polls in the final phase of voting on the 20th of December. The constituency presently has a BJP MLA. No definite anti-incumbency wave, but the residents here want concerted action to improve their lot. And they have faith in India's democracy to bring out corrections. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, that's it from us. Goodbye.